Ben King. I served in South Baghdad from April 2006 to April 2007, FOB loyalty. I thought everything was going great when I got home. I really thought I'd done well and things were going to be smooth from there on out. But what I realized after about 6 months was that they weren't. I started to experience lots of pain, just pain in my neck, pain in my back, pain in my shoulders, and then I stopped sleeping. And it went on like that for about 2 years, and I started finally through trial and error to kind of armor down my body, so to speak, and my mind, and the way I did it led me here. Well, what we've been doing here could best be described as functionally focusing our mind. So using mindfulness techniques to engage our minds in ways that are kind of passive, and ways that make kind of the noise in our heads slow down a little bit, and I've found it just to be incredibly useful. I never really knew that I had a kind of an even, like a middle path. I never really knew that I had that. So what this class kind of does is it shows you kind of where you were. For me, I was, kind of fired up, ready to go, and it kind of shows you the other side of that. So kind of like the other side of the coin, so to speak. And once I began to see that there was a difference between being really revved up and actually calming down, I started to notice that there was kind of a constant, like a constant level. And if I could kind of keep that constant level, my days went much smoother and I was able to sleep better. And then by kind of having that understanding, I could then understand when I was falling off or kind of getting close to that edge where maybe anger or frustration or sadness or despair kind of took over in my head and my body. And I started to kind of tell the difference. And I started to see that I had the resources available to me at all times to armor down and relax. The beauty of this type of focus is that it's available to you at all times, and it's available to you at any time. And it just takes training. And for me, it's just been a reapplication of my military training to focus on my breathing. All mindfulness takes place through the breath. And once you recognize the power that you have implicit to yourself at all times, no matter what, you then apply that training. So it's the same kind of thing as when the military teaches you the value of discipline or the value of integrity, and then it shows you its utility. So that's the thing, it's seeing the utility. Now in the military they teach you the utility of breathing for shooting a weapon. And that's great training. You immediately see the connection, you see its usefulness, and you apply it immediately. The difference with this type of breathing technique is that it's not geared towards precision at a target 300 yards down range. It's geared towards the target inside you. And the target inside you could be, you could say, your central nervous system. So that's the target, and you're trying to target that. See, for me, I spent a whole lot of time in fight or flight. And when you're revved up all the time, it's not very easy to fall asleep. So what this technique has just furthered my understanding of is how to get to the other side of that. So it's just the other side of the coin. So it's not, I mean, that's the thing. That's why I don't like to use the word meditation, because it's not some weird phenomena. It's just a new way of using your old training. I try to practice every morning in what I call going through my ranges. All right, the military got us up at, god-awful early hours in the morning to do training to start the day, so it made sense to me to do the same thing as a civilian. So I get up early, I get up before my wife, and I get up before the day starts. And I do moving meditation, and I used to follow a particular routine or regiment, but now what I've found is that if you connect your mind to your breath and your breath to your motion, whether it be with your hands or whether it be with your core, or whether it even be just with your head moving side to side, it's incredibly effective. And so it levels me out for the day. So that's how I try to begin every day, and it's a constant that I always have access to. The second way I use it is to create space in between what I call the edge. And the edge is the place that you fall off when you fall into rage or you fall into despair. And for me, I would fall off the edge every couple of months for that 2 years when I was not sleeping, because I was just depleted. I didn't have the energy. It's like it would be like trying to fend off an attack with very few rounds of ammunition. You know, you're running out of resources, you're running out of time, you're running out of the power to get over it. And so I would fall off this edge, and I would see myself getting closer to it, and it'd be this like black hole, and I'd be powerless to stop myself. And I didn't notice, but my breath would get all messed up, my body would get tense, the pain in my neck would come back, and I'd get close to this edge, and I'd just fall in. And it would just be, for me, it wasn't a violent thing, it was a despairing kind of thing. I would be in the corner rocking back and forth, crying and hyperventilating, and then I'd be frustrated because I didn't understand why that would happen, and then it would just spiral and spiral and spiral, and I'd just be a mess, and then I'd just and I didn't know what that used to do to my body on the inside. So when I finally figured this out and started to see its application, I started to recognize, I can use this to make space. So now when I get close to the edge, or when something starts to get me fired up, I recognize it, and I recognize immediately that my breath goes from here to here. And so if my breath clamps down, I can see it, and I go, okay, Ben. And you create space in your body on the inhale anyway, so now I just learned how to apply it. And so now when I see myself moving in that direction, I can recognize it, and I can catch my thoughts with my breath before I get close to that edge, and I don't fall in anymore. And it's so rewarding, it's so valuable.